Everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Art Games. Today we're going to be ranking the classical era units of Civilization 5. I, I did the ancient era units in the last episode, so now it's the classical era's turn. These are only land units, by the way, and they don't have any units from special scenarios, as those do not affect the main gameplay. So, first, the African forest elephant. The African forest elephant is a very interesting replacement for the horseman. First of all, it can give you a great general, more likely if you attack. If you're in combat, then you get a chance to get a great general, but the chance is much higher with this unit because it has the great generals 2 promotion. It also has the feared elephants promotion, which means that which means that enemy units receive less combat strength when adjacent to this unit, which also carries over to later units. So you can have a tank upgraded from these units with the feared elephants promotion. It also has extra combat strength and doesn't require horses, but on the other hand, it has a bit slower movement and production cost. So I honestly believe that's an S tier. It can affect its feared elephant ability can affect the game until the atomic era. So it's just an all around great unit. The ballista is also an interesting one. It's basically just a better catapult utilized by the Romans. So I think that's an A tier. The cataphract. The cataphract is the replacement for a horseman utilized by the Byzantine Empire. It has a bit less movement, but in exchange it has much higher combat strength. It can be affected by defensive terrain bonuses, and it has a less and the penalty when attacking cities is a lot less. So I believe that's an A tier. Yeah, A tier. Next, the catapult. Well, since the ballista is in A tier, I'm gonna put the catapult in B tier. It's just a word. The catapult is just necessary if you want to attack any cities, so it's still not to be underestimated. The companion cavalry is the special unit utilized by the Greeks. Well, one of the special units from the Greeks. It has the Great General's 1 promotion, so the same as the African Forest Elephant, except a level lower. It's also faster than normal horsemen, and it has extra melee strength. So I believe that's an... I'm kind of split on this. I don't think it's an S tier. I think I'm going to put it in A tier for now. But last time I put too many units in A tier, I believe. So I should be a little bit harsher with my ranking. The hand axe. The composite bowman. The composite bowman is just the archer of this era. So I'm going to put it in C tier. It's not bad, but it's also not exceptional. It has its uses, but when compared with the other units on this list, it's not really exceptional. The hand axe is the barbarian replacement for the archer, which strangely only stops. The replacement for the chariot archer. Even though the chariot archer is a unit from the ancient era, but apparently this is from the classical era. So it has a ranged attack, but it only has 1 range compared to the 2 range utilized by archers and horse archers. And I believe it's just an era I believe it's out of place in this era. It should be in the ancient era. It would be C or D tier, but in this era, it's just outmatched by the forces that it faces. The horseman. The horseman is an interesting unit. It basically just has better it's just a good unit with high movement, but it does suck when attacking cities, and it doesn't receive any defensive terrain bonuses. But it does move. It is able to move after attacking, which is really nice when you are facing a superior opponent, or just want multiple units attacking a single unit. So I believe that's a B tier. It's just average. I believe the Chris Swordsman is another interesting unit. It's in the special unit of Indonesia, and it replaces the swordsman. It also requires iron because it replaces the swordsman, and it's has the Mystic Blade ability, which allows it to get a free special promotion after the first battle, chosen at random. However, there is a chance that this is a negative promotion, but most of them are positive. So I guess that's a B tier, but I wouldn't. I'm gonna put it in B tier, but when you really need a unit to get a certain job done, this is not the right unit because it can get a negative promotion, get less combat strength, and then you just lose. The Legion is another interesting option. It's basically just a better swordsman that's also able to build roads and forts. So it allows you to build more roads in the early game as Rome, and it can also build forts. It also has better combat strength, by the way. But those forts are really nice because when you are attacking, sometimes you need to defend a certain point, and the Legion is just fantastic when doing that. So I'm going to put it in the S tier. The Mohawk Warrior. The Mohawk Warrior is the special unit utilized by the Iroquois civilization. And it's really nice because it doesn't require iron, even though it replaces the swordsman. And it also has a combat bonus in forest and jungle. So as long as you are in forest and jungle, this is a really good unit. I'm going to put it in A tier. See, I'm making the same mistake again. There are too many A tier units. Anyway, the Siege Tower. The Siege Tower is another interesting unit utilized by Assyria. It's probably one of the most unique units in the game because it replaces the catapult, but it doesn't have a range attack. Instead, it has extra melee combat strength and the regular bonus versus cities. And it also has the Sapper ability, which makes sure that when next to an enemy city, other units within 2 tiles get a bonus when attacking the city. It also has extra sight compared to the catapult, and the cover promotion, which means it has better defense against range attacks, which is really nice when attacking a city, because of course cities have range attacks and most players will put an archer unit in a city to try to protect it. So I believe it's B. I believe it's A tier. I'm going to change the A tier at the end of the video because and put some of them down because I just really feel like the A tier is too full. Then the swordsman, it's a C tier. It's not great. It's not exceptional. It's not exceptional, but it gets the job done. But the problem I have with it is that the moment I get enough swordsmen to make a difference, usually the enemy will be deploying pikemen, which don't cost iron and have better combat strength than the swordsman. So they're actually able to fight them on equal footing, even though the swordsmen have a better strength against other melee against other anti-cavalry units. So with all that in mind, I think it deserves C tier. But now we're going to change a bit. The A tier is obviously way too full. D tier is not full enough. So I'm going to put some of these down. First of all, I'm going to put the horsemen down into the C tier. And the catapults down into this. No, you need the catapult. That it can remain at B tier. I'm going to put the Mohawk Warrior down to B tier, as I just believe that I mean, iron isn't the hardest resource to get, and in the early game you don't really have a lot to spend it on except swordsman. So it doesn't really matter. And the combat bonus is nice, but it's not enough to put it 2 tiers above the swordsman. Um, the aside from that, yeah, I think out of the honestly think that the horseman deserves D tier. It sucks in rough terrain. It sucks when you try to attack cities. It can move fast over terrain, but in the classical era, most people will already have a basic road system set up, so they can just bring their swordsmen or their spearmen from place to place, and they will have greater combat strength to counter the threats. They won't. They will have defensive bonuses from terrain. So I believe this is a fair rating for it. Now, that's basically all I can say about it. Yeah, this is my tier list. If you agree or disagree, tell me in the comments. And if not, you can tell me. You can tell me too. Goodbye.